Hey, it's meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen here with a look at your forecast. We'll have basically 3 winter storms move across the Colorado area over the next 7 days, and we'll have at least some minor impacts here in the Front Range area, with more impacts towards the south and towards the east of the state. Let's take a look at the really the satellite and radar picture right now, and you can kind of see that the storm system number 1 is moving through the southern part of the state. It's been impacting mostly New Mexico as it's been a southern storm track, but we did see some pretty good impacts to the southern part of our state. In the southwest part of the state, in Montezuma County and La Plata County, they got 1 to 4 inches of snow on the ground this morning, and it will continue to snow lightly through the day in that area. And then now it's kind of moving its impact, its focus towards the southeast part of the state now, and we'll see mostly the snow hitting the I-25 corridor from really the southern end of Pueblo County all the way down to the state line, and that includes Raton Pass, where they could get upwards of 8 more inches on Raton Pass. So that's the major impacts, and then it'll start to move towards the north and towards the east, and as it does that, it'll impact the eastern plains. So here's the winter weather advisories as they stand right now. The ones out in the southwest San Juans expire at 11 o'clock tonight, as you continue to get a little bit of light snow out in that portion of the state. So you're not completely done, although the major impacts are done there. Not as much impact in the San Luis Valley, because you have downsloping winds on both directions from the east side and the west side. So the snow remains light there. And then the next batch of winter weather advisories is in southeast Colorado, 3 to 7 inches in the Sangre de Cristo range. That includes La Vida Pass. 2 to 5 inches along the I-25 corridor between Walsenburg and Trinidad, and that includes all the way out towards Baca County as we go into about 5 a.m. tomorrow. And then as the storm kind of circulates the bottom and the east side of our state, it will start to impact the east end of Colorado, and that includes a couple of counties out there on the eastern plains. And the impact there until 11 a.m. Friday will not only be snow, but also some freezing fog and some freezing drizzle. So you might only get an inch of snow, but with the freezing fog and the drizzle, that does have a major impact, and that's why that winter weather advisory is in place. So here's the snowfall forecast, and this does not include the freezing fog impacts. This is just snow going from now until about a little after midnight tonight into early Friday morning. You see that most of the snow is staying to the south, especially into the southeast corner there near Baca County, and also along the Sangre de Cristos. Not as much impact to the north of I-70, which of course includes most of Denver, but we will see a little bit of a chance as some of those winds kick back towards the east, hitting the mountain range this evening. So this computer model does not like the idea of getting any snow accumulation, but I'll go over those chances for at least seeing some flurries and some light snow in our area. And as we go into Saturday morning 2 a.m. with this model, you can see there's not a lot of actual snow accumulation in those counties like Yuma County and some of those other areas towards the east, but I think the major impact there will be that freezing fog and freezing drizzle, which is part of that advisory. So as far as those snow chances here in the Denver metro area, they will really start this evening once the sun goes down. We will see the snow develop here. We're starting to see it now along the I-70 mountain corridor and in parts of the higher foothills. Very light stuff right now, and it'll stay that way, but it'll start to fill out just a little bit. You can see as we take the computer model to 7:30, you can see right in our area the snow showers do develop. So this snow tonight may not involve the actual city of Denver, but towards the south of the city, places like Douglas County, and then towards the east, the I-70 Prairie Corridor from Deer Trail down to Lyman, and really all the way out to the state line is where we could really see that snow. This will most likely be light snow, as in light falling snow, and will also amount to light accumulations as well. But it does last even until early Friday morning. out there on the eastern plains. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a few flakes in the Denver metro area, but I would be a little bit more surprised to see actual accumulation out of it. And then you go to Friday morning here, and Friday morning we could actually see some broken clouds, get some sunshine in the Denver metro area along the Front Range, which could get our temperatures up there towards the 40-degree range, maybe even breaking 40 tomorrow. As you see a little bit of light snow continuing in the foothills and in the mountains. And then later on, Friday, once again, almost the same scenario where we have just isolated pockets of light snow showers in the area about the same time after the sun goes down on Friday. The computer models do like the idea of getting just a little bit of accumulation on Friday night into Saturday morning, but again, these are light showers and light accumulation. So again, 0 to 1 inch likely there by Saturday morning as the snow showers remain in the area. So we have those impacts of this storm. It's just not, we're on the peripheral, just the outer edge of those impacts in the Denver metro area. Here's the actual snowfall forecast from the European computer forecast model, which doesn't show any accumulation in the city of Denver, but a 1/2 inch in Parker, 1/2 inch in Castle Rock, and maybe upwards of 1 inch towards Deer Trail and Lyman on the I-70 mountain corridor. This is not going to be a big impact for the mountains in our area. Just the San Juans is the major impact for this first storm. But you see there's a little bit of snow out there on the I-70 mountain corridor over the next 2 days. So here's some snow reports that we've already got in from this morning. Mainly from the southwest part of the state, 4.7 inches in Trimble. Where's that? That's just north of Durango. Cortez picking up 3 inches. Some of the ski areas out there, Wolf Creek, Purgatory getting 3 inches of snow, 3 inches in Durango, even out towards Pagosa Springs. And now the storm is starting to move into southeast Colorado, so we'll get some new snow reports from that area. As far as the Denver metro area, like I said, we don't have a great shot to pick up actual accumulation out of this first storm system, which kind of includes Thursday and Friday, even into Saturday morning. So these numbers here on the Front Range won't change. And we're just running slightly behind average, maybe a little bit more behind average in Denver, just about 10 inches on the season. So we have an active pattern, just doesn't look like we're going to be adding to these numbers too much, maybe until Monday morning, which is the next storm system that we're watching. As far as the mountains are concerned, this long extended stretch of winter really is not a great pattern for the mountains either. As far as getting out of these really deep deficits that we have, we could get some areas of the mountains getting upwards of 24 inches, maybe a little bit more than 2 feet over 10 days, but that's really not enough to make up the difference. It could certainly make those averages go up towards the 80-85% of average range, which would only be about 15% of average. So it's not going to be the type of weather pattern that could get us back to average snowpack in the mountains, but at least it gets us going in the right direction as we've been going downhill for really the last month and a half. Ski forecasts, this is the kind of year that you really just want to focus in on those powder days, take advantage of the powder days when you don't have a lot of overall snow totals. You want to kind of focus in on the days where you actually get the powder out there. And let's back that forecast model up a little bit here. Look at Thursday morning, probably not too much, maybe a dusting in some of the Summit County ski areas like Breck and Keystone, A Basin, Loveland. But once we get into Friday morning, we could get that for at least as this year goes, I'm going to call that a powder day, 2.5, 3 inches of snow at some of the Summit County mountains there. So we will get at least one decent powder day out of this. And then really if I was going to time anything out, it would be Monday if you have the opportunity, where the mountains will probably get upwards of 6 inches. So that would probably be the day where you actually want to take advantage of that powder out there. Same with sleds. I was out on Monarch Pass over the last couple of days, and there wasn't a single sled up there on the pass. There's absolutely no activity. So Same thing, trying to time out those days to get the snowmobiles out there. We talk about this extended winter pattern. Here's kind of what it looks like. This is a very typical El Nino type of pattern where the storms are taking a very deep southern plunge underneath the state of Colorado. This is that first storm system. Just kind of a graphical representation of what we're actually seeing from that earlier satellite view. And as we push that into motion, you see how it kind of moves towards the northeast, and that's why we get those eastern impacts on the state as we go into the next day, day and a half. And that storm that's actually moving through us could be a pretty significant storm out on the East Coast. New York City, for example, has got a record going of 690 days without getting more than an inch of snow. So almost 2 years. It was February 13th, 2022, the last time New York City actually got more than an inch of snow accumulation. So this little storm that's moving through Colorado right now may actually be able to deliver the end of to break that record that they have going out there. It'll probably produce about 6 to 12 inches of snow just north of New York City, and hopefully that'll actually bring 1 inch or maybe a little bit more than an inch to Central Park in New York City to break that record. But then you see the second storm system. This will be number 2 of 3 that's moving in, and this comes in, you see a little bit further north, still a southern storm track, but just a little bit closer to Colorado, which means we would probably get enough to get some snow accumulation here in Denver, and that would be Sunday night into Monday morning. And that could be significant even if it only ends up being a 1 to 2 inch storm, because it will be the first time this entire season where our morning commute has actually been challenged by snow. And that's a full morning commute where it's a full work week, not a holiday. And a lot of the kids are going back to school on Monday as well. So even a 1 to 2 inch storm on Monday morning could certainly be a more impactful than just what it looks like on paper with a 1 to 2 inch storm. So here's what all that information looks like on the 7-day forecast. You'll see the slight chance of flurries once again Friday night, just like it is tonight, and then that lasts into Saturday morning. Pretty low impact there, if any accumulation in Denver. And then Sunday night into Monday morning, that would be, of course, the more impactful one, even if it only turns out to be 1, 2, 3 inches. And then the next storm, the third storm that we're watching, is also going to be a southern storm track, and that's coming in most likely on Wednesday. And like you saw with the first 2 storms, if it just nudges a little bit to the north, we could get another 1 to 2, 3 inches in the Denver metro area. And that's, at least at this point, that's what it looks like. So all of that through the next 7 days with those very slight snow chances just on the edge of those impacts. And the temperatures will stay, the high temperature will likely be below 45 degrees in Denver for all this week and probably all of next week as well. So it's a good 14-day stretch where the temperatures will at least be what you could call wintry, although this week's temperatures will not be anything too extreme, where we get those temperatures most likely into the 20s and the teens. Next week will likely be the time where we start to see those single-digit temperatures going into next Thursday or Friday, right after that last storm system comes in. So hopefully that helps you with any of the planning that you have for this week, and hopefully you do enjoy this winter pattern. It's really the first extended pattern that we've had the entire season. So thanks for watching, and have a good week.